What's up guys, I'm Kada, and as you guys already know, Osamu is already in the game. So in this video, we'll be going over his skills and some teammates that you can use with him. I'll also briefly mention some memories that synergize well with him. Alright, so let's get started. So Osamu's kit has two main mechanics, I would say. The first one is his first skill, and at the start of the match, Osamu's awareness decreases to 0%, and for every 1% decrease, Osamu's attack technique increases by 1%. So you should build him with a ton of awareness from the potentials and memory. Another one of his main mechanics is his third skill, that every time Osamu does an attack or serve, he inflicts one stack of suppression on the opponent's back row players. Suppression is a debuff that reduces the received stat by 10% per stack, and this effect lasts for 10 net crossing. Then Osamu has the serve and the quick attack skill. Skill 2 is his serve skill, and if the opponent's receiver has the suppression debuff that we mentioned in the previous skill, Osamu's attack technique increases by 10%, and this effect lasts for 8 net crossings. His skill 4 is his quick attack skill, and when he activates this skill, Osamu's quick attack stat is increased by 40% of his attack technique. This effect lasts for 2 net crossings, and it is influenced by the attack technique gained from his first skill, so the flexible offense. About his bonds, I already went over them in the Atsumu video, but basically Osamu has two deployment bonds with Atsumu, and one of them also includes Kita. So the bond that is only with Atsumu is this one, the strongest with high school twins, obviously. And this bond is an active skill that can be triggered when both twins are on the court. When activated, the twins do a minus tempo attack that cannot be blocked and increases Osamu's attack technique by 15% until one of the twins leaves the court. And his second bond also includes Kita as well as Atsumu. This bond is a passive buff that increases Osamu's attack technique by 5% and Kita's basic stat by 5%. And at the start of the match, Atsumu gains 3 stacks of his passive, perfect timing. Kita gains 1 stack of his passive, reliable action. And Osamu's first quick attack each set has a power increase of 12%. Also, mentioning his skill resonance real quick, if you're able to get a skill resonance 2, the percentage of his fourth skill increases from 40% to 60%. And if you're able to get a skill resonance 4, every time Osamu scores with a quick attack, the next two allies who activate this skill 4 get a 20% buff to their attack technique and defense technique. Now talking a little bit about his teams, the first one that I want to mention would be obviously Inarizaki. This is a real simple Inarizaki team with only Atsumu and Osamu as UR characters. You can obviously switch some of these characters around, like Tanaka, Liev, if you have Kuro or Bokuto specifically, because those two are the only wing spiker and middle blocker that we have from the UR rarity as of right now. But yeah, this is really simple. You can play with Tanaka, you can play with, instead of Yaku, Evne Shinoya with Tanaka, so you have another bond. If you don't want to play with Suna and you want to play with like Hinata, I would say, because Hinata is a really good pair with Atsumu and Osamu because he buffs quick attack, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here, the skill 2. When Hinata performs a quick attack and the setter is a quick attack type player, increases the spike power by 15% of that setter's quick attack stat. So yeah, it doesn't buff quick attack, but if you're playing Hinata alongside a quick attack setter, you can buff Hinata like that. So yeah, I would say if you don't want to play with Suna and want to play with Hinata, then you can play with the Libero from Inarizaki. He's also a good viable option for Inarizaki. I'll say that the most used are these two, but Akagi is not like that far behind, you know. The second team is a team that if you couldn't get Atsumu and you still want to go for Osamu, you don't have to like be desperate, you know. You can just go for Kageyama instead. He's also a quick attack type setter, but you wouldn't play Inarizaki with Kageyama. You would play Karasuno probably. You could also feed, you know, the Inarizaki team, like you would take out these 3 and get Kita in, Suna in, and Akagi. But Hinata is a really good option with Kageyama as well. I put right here Kuro. I did mention him in the previous team, but here he's starting. And we have Ohira to give us a little more support instead of Kita, you know. Alright, so this third team, it's basically the Narizaki version of this second team. Instead of playing Karasuno, we're playing Narizaki. We kept Kuro just because he's a really good middle blocker and he's also a quick attack type player. Then as you guys can see, I also sold out Ohira for Bokuto, just because since we're playing Kita, we already have that kind of defense that Ohira provides. So better Bokuto here just to give us a little more offensive power, you know. It can be any wing spiker, but I would suggest one little more offensive, you know. Just because this team already has Kida, Akagi, Kuro, and Rintaro make a great duo for blocking. So yeah, you'll need one more offensive option. Instead of Kuro, you can also play Tsukishima. Tsukishima buffs the strength of all quick attack type players in your team while he's on the court. So again, Tsukishima, amazing option, and he's given out for free. And finally, the fourth team is a team with the next 4 URs. If you're a player that just started the game and you have all those one-time rewards, and you're probably able to pick all these 4 players up, and then I just place like Hinata you can get as a beginner player, even though it's not guaranteed. You don't have a good chance, but you have a chance to pull him. If you don't pull him, Tsukishima is fine. He also fills up the Karasuno slot, and he also works with Osamu and Kageyama. Then these two, Tanaka can pick up in the beginner banner, you know. Additionally, will eventually be back on the rates up banner. Maybe once we get all the SSR characters, they will release a banner like the JP one that has all these SSR characters, and you can choose the one who has a rate up, or they might rerun the style of banners that we have right now, you know. Now talking about Osamu's memory, I would say that his memory is good. You can pick it up if you want, but if you already have Ushijima's memory, it works just fine, if not better, because you can stack more awareness. And as I mentioned before, Osamu's first passive transforms your awareness into attack technique, and Osamu, he wants to stack as much attack technique as he can. So this memory is really good for him. His own memory is good for him as well, because it increases quick attack, and if you get a certain amount of attack technique, it multiplies the power of your quick attack by 48%. And for SSR memories, you can use this one. You can pick it up for free in the selection box that you have. If you're a newer player, if you don't have any of these memories, you can just wait for it. Probably do Shijinori banner, I'd say. That's all I wanted to say for today. As always, take care. Bye.